He's heard all about it from his father.
Let's close it up. Four. There he comes right now. Inside. Look shot.
No game 7. No game 7. Which means, in other words,
the Phoenix Suns are your NBA champions. Yes, yes, yes. CP3 has won the ring he's been chasing for over 15 years. Ah, it felt good to say that.
hey, John.
Yeah?
Wake up.
I am up.
No, you're in a dream. You're also in a reality. You gotta wake up.
Shit, what was I dreaming about?
A reality that never came to pass.
Don't tell me. They won it.
Unfortunately for you, haters out there, and people that live in Phoenix, Arizona. For the first time since 1971, the Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions. Yes, that is right. We have our 2021 NBA champions. That is the Milwaukee Bucks. They did it. They did it. They stopped the doubters. I, for one, didn't think that they would do it. You changed your mind and thought that they would win last night, and, well, they did.
It makes me cry. It makes me want to cry so badly.
Which means, unfortunately, for the Phoenix Suns, that is it. Their season is done. And unfortunately for Chris Paul, it's not a fairy tale ending. Not that he wanted.
Yeah, and that's what's getting me emotional inside right now, you know, just him.
Well, for one, take off the mask.
Just him, you know, like I was really pushing for the Suns to win for a lot of reasons, but he was the number one main reason and the biggest reason of all reasons to why. You know, seeing him play since a kid and seeing where he is now, you feel for him because he deserves it. Just like how I say the person on the other side deserves it, he deserves it too. He deserved it too if they want one, you know. And it makes me emotional because he's 36 years of age, and I know this is a different time in which people focus on like longevity, but this may be the end of the road in terms of this pinnacle, in terms of how much better this could get. Hey, unless if he like, you know, go somewhere else, you know, to like, you know, I'm not gonna give any suggestions, but like, you know, but unless if he goes somewhere else, like, you know, it's probably his peak in terms of accomplishment that he's probably going to get being at this age.
Yep, that's the unfortunate reality. That's a real possibility. We don't know the future has in store, of course, but it takes a lot for a team to get back into the situation, the NBA Finals. And it sucks for Chris Paul fans. It sucks for Phoenix Suns fans because the Phoenix Suns, man, they had such a great season. They had such a great season. They have so many great, good players. They have a great coach, Monty Williams. I know it hurts him because he had just as long a struggle as Chris Paul did, trying to get here, trying to get a team, coach up a team, and he's improved so much in terms of his coaching ability and working with the players and trying to build a championship caliber team. And looked like he finally had that. Fortunately for him, that's not the case for him. Of course, for Devin Booker, he's still very young, and it's the first time he's ever been on the stage, but it's a crushing defeat. It's a crushing loss that you don't want to go through as an NBA player, something like that. So I know it hurts these Phoenix Suns players. I know it hurts every one of them, all the staff, fans, and this is not the outcome you wanted. I can't say anything to cheer you up because you can't say, "Oh, try again." I mean, no, this was the NBA championship. This is what you want. This is what you want. If you're a fan of the team, this is what as a player, you just want a coach, as the GM, as our owner. This is the ultimate goal. So when you get to that point and fall short, it hurts.
Exactly. And it hurts from that aspect of thinking about it in a short-term aspect. But also, let's talk about a long-term aspect because we talked about it at one point in one of our earlier episodes about right? How, they get an opportunity to make it to the finals or whatsoever. It doesn't come easy, There's some who never make it there. There's some who've been there once to never go back, or been there twice to never go back. Like, the road to trying to get a championship is hard. It's really hard. And it's just like, the unfortunate reality is it's just like we don't know how things are going to play out in the future, obviously. And hopefully it does play out for anybody that's on this team. But the unfortunate reality is that there's likely chance you may never make it back here again. And in terms of, obviously, the franchise itself, of course, as long as they're still in existence, anything can happen. But in terms of the individual players on the team, there's a likely chance like you just may not make it back there again. Like, and I'm talking about the individuals like Chris Paul. It took him freaking 16 years to get here. And this is probably his first and last time. So it's tough, and that's the unfortunate thing about thinking about it. Like, you know what I mean? And this is what you play for. You say it all the time. This is what you play for. This is the ultimate goal. And you fought so hard to accomplishment, and it just can't be done because just the other team was just better than you for whatever reason. It's hard to let it go. But but again, there's nothing that you can do to cheer them up, but you still got to give them their flowers because they did put out a lot of work and effort, being the number two seed, being the number 2 seed, and the plays that they had. Again, they're in the Western Conference. Do you know how difficult it is playing the Western Conference? Look at all the talent that they had to go through just to get here. You took say what you want, injuries. Obviously, injuries played a lot in both ends of the season, but talk about having to go against Bron, AD, and that Lakers squad. You talk about having to face Jokic. Don't get me wrong, it probably would have been a little bit of a more tougher series if they had to go against Murray. You talk about the Clippers, who they eventually lost Kawhi.
But was still playing great. And again, the Nuggets was still playing great without Murray.
Exactly. All that. That's who they had to go through. And this is a young team who majority of the players on that team never been in a situation like this before. So they deserve a lot of credit, and this should be just the beginning to look up to a great future. I hope.
Yeah, they do got a lot of young talent. They're a very young team, and we'll see what happens. But let's talk about the actual, game 6 of the NBA Finals. And I mean, this was up and down. The Bucks came out strong, came out willing. They came out like this. They wanted to end it here. But then the Suns came back.
Yeah.
They wanted to uh, get their flow back in because they was missing a lot of their shots. I mean, everybody was cold. And then they finally started to get their offense going. Finally started to get something going. A lot of turnovers from both sides of the ball as well.
Yeah.
But the Suns got the advantage. And then towards that third quarter, it was back and forth, and the game was tied on to fourth.
Yeah.
And in that fourth quarter, I mean, it was the Suns not being able to make their shots late when they needed to. Some costly turnovers too for them. It was the Bucks hitting their shots late and making their plays matter and making their plays count and their shots count. And they just close it out based off their defense, based off their shot making ability late and their offense. Yeah. And basically that's how they was able to win game 6 and the championship.
Yeah, man. Yeah, again, just like these past 3 games actually. These past 3 games, it's just been the little things for the Suns. They've been able to fight hard, fight back, or whatsoever, but the little things is what eventually came along to be their demise and demoralize them in terms of situations of shots not going in, turnovers at the wrong moment, giving the opponent the opportunity, the advantage to get ahead, not taking advantage when the time is there. And when they did that, when they did make those little runs and little stretches and stuff like that, it just, hey, it still went the other way. It's just tough, and it's going to irk them because then when they look back at this, or they probably won't ever look back at this, but whenever they get reminded of this, it's just going to always be those small things that got to the way. Like again, like prime example, Giannis, Drew Holiday's steal and Giannis's lob. Chris Paul turned the ball over at one point again in I think game 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in game 4, things like that. Okay, this is out of their control, obviously, because a block is a block. But again, Giannis's block. Giannis was a whole defensive presence in the paint. Let's be honest, for these last past games, it's just things like that, that could just change the flow and the rhythm. And I think that's what just happened with the Suns. They just kind of lost flow and rhythm in crucial moments.
Yep, and 2 players are probably gonna hurt from this a lot. Because let's just say these 2 players didn't have their best performances when they needed to. And that is one, DeAndre Ayton. We talk about him all postseason because he's had a great postseason. He's really took that next step, really played at a high level. And then in this game, he didn't shoot the ball really well. But most importantly, he got in foul trouble, which took him out the game in a lot of key situations. And Dario Saric is hurt, so he couldn't put him in. They had to rely on Frank Kaminsky, who did play well when he did play. But Frank Kaminsky, DeAndre Ayton, especially in a win-or-go-home game for a chance to win the championship, force game 7 to win the championship, you had to with the foul trouble, with the foul calls. They was letting the players go. It was letting them go. They understood the situation. Even though CP3 hate this referee's crew, but they understand the situation, and they let a lot of these calls go, which regular season calls would have been a foul. But in this is game 6 of the NBA Finals. This is win and go home. This is a chance for the NBA championship. and yet you still got in foul trouble with that. I mean, you got to play smart. I know he's a young player, and he has a lot. It still has a lot of great potential, but that just can't happen. That's one player, and then of course the other player, the franchise player, their best player, the person that they want to have to carry load of this team for the years and years and years down the road, Devin Booker, and someone who just came off back-to-back 40-point performances and was playing great. And he comes in this game and he really struggled. Really struggled. He was 0 for 7 from deep. Only shot 36%. That's not the Devin Booker that you know.
Yeah, Devin Booker. Here's my thing, right? Was just seeing him. He didn't move the same way that he did in those 40-point games that he had for the last two. Like, I know the defense was always targeted on him and stuff, but there was times he passed out a shot in which I felt like he had enough space to pull it, things like that. I was happy he was being aggressive and attacking the basket, but they closed him out of that. You know what I mean? Everyone was doing turnovers in this game because the intensity was that high, but making errant passes, not initiating the play well. I just think that Devin Booker did not, and again, he's young and stuff like that, but Devin Booker just didn't, for the first time, and I can't believe I'm saying this because it's crazy, but for the first time, he did not look or feel comfortable about playing. If that makes sense, in terms of essence of he just wasn't being who we know who he could be. Because we know he's a tough dude, a tough mental dude who's willing to take on any challenge no matter what or whatsoever. And he doesn't care what kind of situation or moment or whatsoever. He's going to go after. Again, he's the youngest to ever get 70 plus points. He wants all the smoke. He wants all the smoke. But yeah, it just he didn't. To me, he was fighting, but it's a fight that just wasn't. Yeah, you gotta put it like bikini bottom.
I get what you're trying to say. I understand what the point you're trying to make with Devin Booker. I mean, it was tough. It's certain points, yeah, maybe he was too aggressive. Other times he wasn't as aggressive. Sometimes he passed up some shots or wasn't looking to create space, and other times he just missed. It's plain and simple. But it sucks for the Phoenix Suns. Sucks for everybody on this team, Monty Williams, Chris Paul, but gotta talk about the winners. That being the Milwaukee Bucks. First, let's go over this game specifically. And why they won this game. Why they won this game? Well, for one, did I tell you that they love Bobby Portis in Milwaukee?
Yeah, yes, you did.
Yeah, I bet they love him even more because he played great. 16 points in this game coming off the bench. He played fantastic. Pat Connaughton, even though he wasn't doing his three-point shooting that he usually did, the rebounding was still there. Hustle was still there. Brook Lopez wasn't that three-point shooter that I hate when he is. He was that inside presence that I love that he is, that when they use him. And a lot of times it was just him one of the plays, he took the ball off the dribble and did a Euro and scored. I was just amazed. And he started scoring more in the low post. He got that big dunk late in that game. He credit for this team. PJ Tucker, his defense all night last night was great. He's been such a key addition to this Bucks team. Speaking of key additions, Jrue Holiday, probably their biggest addition that they had to this team. And we talked a lot about his offense, and his offense has been inconsistent, and his offense was inconsistent in this game in terms of scoring. His playmaking ability has been great. He's been a great facilitator and a great passer all series long, all postseason long. And of course, He's been an amazing defender for majority of his career, and it continued in this game with 4 steals. And I mean, he's done a great job when he had to guard D Book. He's done a great job when he had to guard Chris Paul. Whoever's his assignment, he's done great on help defense. So he scored because he got that steal in Game 5 because of that help defense. He's just spectacular all around in terms of the defensive side of the ball. And then, of course, Chris Middleton, who came up big time for them late game because you know he's that shot creator. He's that go-to guy because when you need a bucket and when you need sometimes you go one-on-one and you need that kind of post scorer or you need someone that can handle the ball, he's your guy. And they went to him late, and he proved them right in terms of that decision making because he was clutch out there, and he was clutch all series long, just like in the last game, just like in Game 4 with that 40-point performance. He was fantastic. Also had 4 steals on the night. That was great too on the defensive side of the ball. But of course,
Please, yo, yeah, I'll pay you money, bro.
No. I don't want to hear. Keep out of me.
Bro.
I'll pay
you
no.
money,
No. You've been hating all series long. Sorry.
Bro.
You've been hating for the past 2 years. You've been hating for the past 2 years.
Money, bro, I could give you $1,000.
Hold on. First of all, you're 20. Can you act like it? Thank you.
Because I want you to flame me, bro.
No. We cannot talk about all of these guys on this Bucks team without mentioning
Mike Budenholzer.
Well, since you mentioned it, I guess I kind of should go into that first. Coach Mike Budenholzer. No more Mike and Mike jokes. He's an NBA champion now.
And he's gonna turn into Doc Rivers.
That's so disrespectful. But Mike Budenholzer, you know, I've given him so much shit all postseason about his adjustments and him not making adjustments, him making adjustments too late, him making adjustments for no reason, and his coaching all throughout. And I have to apologize. He did a great job in this series when you look at the adjustments. He knew when to put Giannis at the 5 and when to kind of play that type of ball with Giannis at the 5 and Brook Lopez on the bench. He did a great job with a lot of time. Giannis wasn't just doing ISO charging at the basket. Sometimes it was him going to the paint. That screen roll action between him and Middleton was amazing. Majority of the series between those two guys. And you gotta give credit when credit's due. Also on the defensive side of the ball, Bucks defense was great. Yeah. So I gotta give credit. I criticize him, but he deserves the credit. He did a great job in this series, and he deserves every bit of this championship trophy, despite all my criticisms, despite everything I say about him. He's an NBA champion, and he does deserve it. Yeah. Congratulations.
Hey, don't worry. You might become the next Doc Rivers, bro.
Doc Rivers still a Hall of Famer. So, and Mike Budenholzer probably gonna be a Hall of Famer too now. Two-time Coach of the Year, and NBA champion now. But speaking of a 2-time MVP, I'm glad this falls full screen. This is for all you idiots out there that don't know shit about basketball that continue to talk about this man. This is for all you casuals out there that think you know about the game, but you really don't. This is for all the people that watch just a tiny bit of basketball, read what other people say online, then talk about it online and talk shit to other people about it. Because they think they know everything. They think they know the game. This is for all you people that said this 2-time MVP, this defensive player of the year, this all-star, this superstar, this franchise player, this dominant player, the most dominant player since Shaquille O'Neal. This is for all you people out there This player, now a finals MVP. This player, who in a closeout game, a win or when I win, I'll go home, but in a win for the championship game, dropped 50 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Not to mention, he was shooting so inconsistently from the free throw line. Now in game 6, he's Jordan. Which I'm still shocked. I don't know what. 17 for 19 from the free throw line. He was so bad on the free throw line all year, airballing them. I mean, just front of the rim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he made 17 out of 19. I thought I was watching Steve Nash.
Yeah. Can I say something about that free throw real quick? About the free throws real quick?
You
remember in the first game of the season when they played against Boston and I was clowning him?
Yep, I remember. I remember. But hey, 17 out of 19 in the game 6 NBA Finals in a clincher for the championship.
What a way to bounce back, Giannis.
Giannis, you can airball 100,000 next to the next free throws. It won't change a goddamn thing. This performance, not only in game 6, but this performance in the NBA Finals. For all you stupid ass haters out there, you just witnessed greatness. You just witnessed one of the greatest final performances of an NBA player in history. There is only a handful of people that has done what Giannis has done. There's only 6 other people that had 50 points in a finals game compared to other than Giannis. Only 6 other people. He had 40-point games back to back, coming off an injury, not to mention where his entire leg bent, where he might have missed 2 games, and he came back in game 1 and dominated. And he did it on both sides of the ball. Offense, defense. Not to mention one of the greatest blocks in NBA history in game 4 on an alley-oop to potentially save their season. He did it all. For you people who say he has no skill, he did it all. Euro step, spin move, jump shots, post fadeaways, layups, and ones, free throws, blocks, defense. He did it all. Strength. Because strength is a skill set. I know you people think that he was born 260 or whatever. But strength is a skill set. Now I'm looking at someone right here, right across from me, who said, hey, a king never crowns himself. A king never crowns himself. I guess you're right, but a finals MVP can. Giannis Antetokounmpo, a 2-time MVP, a defensive player of the year, a superstar who did it on a team with no other superstars, is an NBA champion and a finals MVP. He can be a bum for the next 10 years. That's it. He's a future Hall of Famer. That's it. His story can be told. That's it. All within the span of about 4 years. Of about 4 years, he did this. Look at his journey. Coming into the league, I mean, frail. Sure, he was long and he was athletic, but that's about all he had going for him. No, couldn't really do as much, and he built himself up. His work ethic second to none. His ability second to none. You know, his mentality second to none. And he worked, and he worked, and he worked, and he worked. And now look at him. It's pretty impressive for a guy who just run and jump. What would you say? It's really impressive. That's for all you haters out there. No matter what you say about Giannis, no matter what you can think about Giannis, no matter how much hate you have in your heart, he has something that you can never take away from him. It's a ring on his finger. It's a NBA Finals MVP. you witnessed one of the greatest performances you will ever see. By that man, by that beast, by that freak. He deserves all the credit, and I'm passing it to you because I want you to give him every last credit that you denounced from him all for the past 2 years.
I'm sorry. I had to laugh at that a little bit. Okay, yes. Okay, look. As much as it pains me and it hurts me and it irks me to jokingly say this, but I am crowning him
Mask off.
I'm crowning him the second in command king. He is the prince. He's the upcoming king. That man deserves a lot. He deserves a lot of flowers, a lot of credit, a lot of love, a lot of praise.
That's right.
I want to apologize to Giannis, whatever his middle name, Antetokounmpo, and respect his humble beginnings and when he has to come through. And again, just how humble he has just been throughout his whole freaking life. Like, it's crazy. The dude came from a situation in which it was rough, really tough. Fighting his way to help provide. Well, all the brothers was fighting. Let's just be honest about that. The mom and the dad and all the brothers were fighting. Gets unknown raw prospect coming out and coming into the draft like 6 years ago. Nobody knew how to pronounce his name. Everybody bludgered his last name like as if like, hey, it don't matter. He's not gonna be nothing. The dude was a 60 overall in 2K14. In 2K14. Oh, when they say the glow up is real, the glow up is real. Let me tell you that right now for a fact. The dedication, you already said it all, man. Dedication, the hard work, just staying in the gym, working on his lame ass skill set, which has gotten him to this point.
Lame.
I gotta say, as much as I wanted CP3 to win this chip, I can't. I'm out of ammunition. I lost the battle. I lost the war. He is an NBA champion. I never thought I'd have to say those words out of my mouth. I thought I had to say it after some other players won it, but hey, I have to say it before those other players win. He has done it. He has reached the pinnacle of the sport, and he did it in a beast fashion. He did it in a hard work. He did it. I call this the Iverson mentality. He did it in the Iverson mentality. He laid it all out, all on the floor, as if this was going to be the last time he was ever playing. Giannis Antetokounmpo, you've been having my respect. It was all jokes, but this time, even though my respect doesn't matter, obviously, like the hell I am compared to you, right? But I have humbled myself to the lowest of lows, down on my knees, and I just want to say I am sorry, and I will never, ever, well, let me not say never, ever, but as of right now.
No, you say never, ever. Say never, ever. Because I don't care if he's a bum for the next 10 years. You say never, ever.
For the rest of the summer, which probably won't happen. But for the rest of the summer, I will not disrespect your name. Your name will go down in greatness. Your name means a lot. I apologize. And your NBA champion of the year is well deserved. Extremely well deserved.
Extremely well deserved. Respect to Giannis and respect to this Bucks team as I give my apology to these Bucks because one, look at their journey this year. Look at what they did this year.
Yeah.
They beat the reigning Eastern Conference champions, the team that beat them last year when they were the favorites to be the Eastern Conference champions. They lost to them last year in the bubble, and they came out and swept that same team. Swept them.
Thank you, Brent.
Then in the second round, the Brooklyn Nets, the almighty Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant-led Brooklyn Nets. Now, I know everybody, yeah, Kyrie did get hurt, yes, and James Harden was playing hurt. Let's not forget that they were down 0-2 in this series.
Yeah.
Let's not forget they fought hard in that game 3 and won in that gutsy battle. And yeah, game 4, Kyrie did get hurt, and they tied up the series. But as I mentioned, game 5, what happened when Kevin Durant's all-time playoff performance. They go down 3-2, and they come back to Milwaukee, take care of business there, and then go to Brooklyn, take care of business in overtime.
Yeah.
Impressive, no matter what the injuries is, because that is still Kevin Durant on the opposite side of the team. Impressive. Now let's go to Atlanta, a team that's been shocking everybody in the league. And they lose game 1 because Trae Young has one of his best performances he's ever had in his young career. They lose game 1. They win game 2, win game 3. Game 3 off the strength of Chris Middleton, who took over, who has that ability to take over. And then game 4, Trae Young does get hurt. I understand that, but Giannis gets hurt, and they lose game 4 without Trae Young on the opposite side. And then Giannis doesn't play for the rest of the series, and they win 2 straight and close out the series. And yet Trae Young missed the game, and he was injured in the final game. But their best player, the one that you just saw with one of the best performances you'll ever see, was not playing.
Yeah.
Respect. And then in this finals, against this Suns team, Chris Paul, Devin Booker led, Monty Williams led, DeAndre Ayton, and all the role players and bench players that they had on this team. And they go down 0-2 in the NBA Finals. And then they win 2 straight on their home floor. With Giannis dropping 40, and then the next game, Chris Middleton dropping 40, surviving Devin Booker's 40, and the amazing block on the alley-oop on game 5 go to Phoenix, a place where the Suns have been almost unbeatable in game 5, and they win. The strength of their defense, the strength of their big 3, Giannis, Holiday, and Middleton. And then in game 6, closeout game, all the pressure, everything riding on this. They don't want to go back to Phoenix. They want to end it. And they did exactly that. Exactly that, ending it with their defense, with their late game shot making ability, with their all-time great franchise player dropping 50 in an NBA Finals game, in 5 blocks, all that closing out and getting this series and winning this championship. Respect, respect, respect. I had them losing against the Nets. Even without Kyrie, I still had them losing. And I apologize for that. I had the Hawks beating them in 7. And yeah, Trae Young did get hurt. But Giannis got hurt too. And they still win. I apologize for that. And then in this series against these Suns in the NBA Finals, I had them losing in 6. I had them losing in 6. And I was right in a sense. The series did end in 6. However, it was the Bucks taking it in 6. I apologize for that. Give respect to everybody on this roster: Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, PJ Tucker, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and of course Giannis, of course Mike Budenholzer. Respect to the NBA champions, your Milwaukee Bucks. Congratulations to them on a wonderful season, a magical season, something that they will remember forever because it's etched in history. Ja,
I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that dude behind you. I've been a big fan for a while. I'm not gonna Don't get me wrong. You know I'm a player fan, right? Man, I got a lot of guards that I obviously will watch over him. But when I watch Drew Holiday, man, from the early years of Philly
mhm.
till when he first went to New Orleans, didn't really play much because of injury whatsoever. But when he did, he was still balling. To now in this moment, it's a beautiful story for him. Like, you
Yep.
always said it. He was never flashy, but his skills were so polished that he just looked so smooth.
Yes.
Even though his play was inconsistent in terms of offense,
Mm.
still came up big in certain areas when needed. And now he's a champion, and that's a beautiful story to write, man. That's a beautiful story to write and talk about for sure.
Yep. Mm. Well, Chris Paul. They say Chris Paul is the biggest acquisition in the summer. Well, Drew Holiday is the NBA champion, so
Yeah.
I guess we'll leave it at that. But yes, Drew Holiday, an amazing season in his first year with the Bucks. He's an NBA champion for the first time in his career. Brook Lopez, NBA champion for the first time in his career. PJ Tucker, first time NBA champion. Pat Connaughton, first time NBA champion. DiVincenzo, who's been a key role player for them this year, obviously went down injured in the Miami series. First time champion. Bobby Portis, first time champion. Chris Middleton, first time champion. And Giannis Antetokounmpo, a first time champion. Mike Budenholzer, first time champion as an NBA coach. Sad for Phoenix, but happy for the Milwaukee Bucks. First championship since 1971. That is your NBA champions. Respect to all of them. And what on a magical year. And, well, John, respect to all the players for this season. It's been a long season, a grueling season. It's how they had to go through a lot, especially the players that had to go through the bubble. And then within just like the Heat and the Lakers, short notice, get right back to the grind. The NBA season 73, 72 games later, 72 games later. Players had to deal with injuries, the regular wear and tear on the body for the NBA season. No fans in the arena. COVID. And all the grueling things that you see for an NBA season on a regular basis. They had to deal with all of that. And they deserve a lot of respect. No matter what people say, carrying on the season, trying their best, and working through these trials, these tribulations, and these injuries. One of the most injured-prone playoffs we've ever seen before. With a lot of stars being out, a lot of injuries happening, and these players deserve a lot of credit. That's why I just want to say that.
Shit, no question. They deserve all the credit in the world. Not a lot of people. You got to be mentally tough to go through what they had to endure the whole season. The constant protocols, the constant do the checkups and stuff like that. Having to deal with nagging injuries or whatsoever. Having to rush the Lakers and the Heat having to rush their off season. We're having the shortest off season just to get back, and just the fact that weird, bizarre things were happening too, like in terms of the fact of due to these COVID protocols and stuff, how certain players had to get taken out the game. Like Kevin Durant came off the bench for the first time ever in his NBA career because of a COVID situation. You talk about how he was next to somebody,
Yep.
It's just a lot, and these NBA players have to fight really, really hard just to get through and see it. And the fact that they made it to the end is amazing. Like there was times where I really thought that we was probably gonna go into another lockdown, shutdown, or whatsoever. and the NBA will have to do that.
And they never did.
Never did. That was the beauty of it. And it was most times in which it was more positive than negative. Actually, like there was like then we could have like a straight like weeks of them not having any positive tests or anything, stuff like that. Like so. Salute to the NBA, man. They're again rapidly growing internationally, constantly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Salute to the NBA. Salute to the players. It was amazing to see the fans back, especially for the playoffs. Bring that playoff atmosphere. I loved every second of these playoffs, despite the injuries. I know that was rough, but the atmosphere, the trash talking, pettiness, not the fans throwing stuff at the court of players, but everything else, the intensity of it, the drive of it, the heart. I love these playoffs. It was very memorable, very unpredictable. You didn't know what was going to happen. The Hawks being a surprise, the Knicks being back in the playoffs for the first time, Suns being back in the playoffs first time and getting to the finals, Chris Paul's first finals, the Bucks upsetting this Nets team and then going to the finals, Jokic in his MVP year, out in the second round. It was just the defending champions getting bounced out in the first round, along with the Eastern Conference champions. This was a memorable playoffs. This was a memorable season, memorable finals, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. I'm really happy with it. Like I said, injuries suck, but it's a fortunate part of the game. And when you take that out of it and look at everything else, this was a really amazing season. This was a really amazing postseason. I loved it. And I mean, yeah, that's all I can say about in terms of this NBA season.
Yeah. Well, beautifully put and well, beautifully said. Yeah, everything's just been entertaining, especially this postseason. Like again, like you said, unpredictable. You didn't know what was to expect.
Mm.
So it seemed like a college bracket, but yeah, it was 7 games instead of 1 game. You
Yeah.
know what to expect.
Oh,
Things turn so quickly.
Not to mention the Clippers going to the Western Conference Finals for the first time.
Yeah. Well, Buffalo, here they come.
You love talking about Buffalo, man. But that's the NBA season. That's the NBA. And as they close down their season, well, Ja, we got to close down ours. It was a lot of ups and downs for our first ever year covering the NBA on our YouTube channel, The Mind of Basketball. Our first ever yearly podcast. It was a lot to go through. It was a lot to think about. It was a lot to do, a lot to learn. It was a struggle, but I mean, through it all, I love talking basketball. I love talking NBA. I love talking about the stars, the coaches, the play styles, and I love learning about the game. And through this year, I've learned so much more than I already thought. I already thought that I knew a lot. I knew that I needed to know more. Knew that there was a lot to learn. And after this, I know that there's still even more to learn, which is just crazy to think about. There's still so much that I don't know about the basketball, the X's and O's, what goes on the locker rooms, the play styles, the coaches, the veterans, the assistant coaches, which I still a little bit don't know entirely what a lot of these assistant coaches do and what their impacts is. It's just so much that I need to know and learn about the NBA, and that I know that through this journey and through these next few seasons and all that, because we do plan on keep doing this, we do plan on keep grinding and all that, that I'm going to learn a lot more about basketball, learn a lot more about NBA, learn a lot more about what goes into basketball, what goes into these players and these coaches and GMs and all that.
Yeah, man. You know, we was talking about this one time, man. It's crazy, right? Because one of our bros, obviously we can't say names on him, but one of our bros gave us acknowledgement for the fact that we how many episodes in, we still going on with this. It's crazy. We've been doing this since the beginning of the bubble, right? Oh, actually, it was the playing game. That's when
we well they don't know this, but we trained or we prepared for this since the playing game between the Grizzlies and the Blazers of last year. That's how long we've been thinking about this.
Yeah.
So it's been a long journey for us, and we had to learn a lot, and not just about basketball, YouTube, and being a creator and being a content creator and doing our own channel. Jai had to learn a lot about editing and how to edit because he edits our podcast and our videos. I had to learn a lot about planning and knowing what to do and how to set up the podcast and how to format it and what goes on. And we still are novices to this. We still don't know what we're doing, but we're still trying to make an effort, and we're still trying to make this the best basketball podcast that we can for us and for the people watching. And we still want to grow. Still have a lot of plans for not only the podcast but for this channel. A lot more things that we have planned that we want to do in the future for this channel. And it's exciting because me and John talked about it a lot, and we already know what we're gonna do. We already know a lot that we're gonna do in terms of these next few weeks, months, years, who knows, days, who knows, minutes. But there's a lot that we're gonna do. There's a lot that we still need to learn. There's a lot that we're going to learn, and we're gonna keep grinding. We're gonna keep growing. We're gonna keep doing what we do. We're gonna make this better. Still a lot of things that we need to do to make this better. So we haven't reached nowhere near the full potential that we should be reaching. But everything has time. Everything comes with purpose. Everything comes with time. As long as you keep pushing, as long as you keep thriving, it will come. So that's what we plan on doing, this podcast and with this YouTube channel.
Yeah. Dedication, staying dedicated to it through all the dark times, dark moments, or whatsoever, which wasn't nothing crazy. When I say dark, it wasn't really anything crazy dark, but like, you know, it was tough moments in which you have to push, just like what you say, you have to push through, and we were able to push through. You know, there was times where I felt like I was about to fail you or whatsoever, but you know, we always found a way to make it work out. You know what I mean? And things just came through, you know, and things just been so well, you know what I mean? Like, again, you said it best. Like, you know, I never played the sport, but I have people who I
Street ball.
grew up around.
But I mean, you mean not professionally. That's not professional. I know in your mind you might think it's professional, but it's not professional.
Hey man, look, I like, again, as I said, I never played the game, but I grew up around people who constantly played it. I grew up around you who loved it. You know what I mean? I grew up around blood relatives who played the game. So, and we live in New York City. We both grew up in New York City, and if you know New York City, it's like everywhere you go,
all around.
Baseball field, all around on each and every corner. You see a playground, you see a basketball court, or you see a baseball field, just like how you see a school. Like, you know, so like, you know, you just got to draw to the game one way or another, you know. And I love talking about, just like what you said, I love talking about it, especially with you, because it just, you get to learn a lot from just different perspectives while also talking about it from a historical perspective. I know you like clowning casuals, but casuals be funny as hell in terms of what they be talking about. So, like, you know, in terms of jokes like that, and just studying, just learning about it, just like what you said, the X's and O's, understanding how with these teams' tendencies, what they like to do, how they like to build their chemistry and stuff like that. It's just amazing to watch. It's just amazing to watch it. Like, you know, what a perfect way to, because basically, even though it took us some time when we first started off, how this is basically like having a regular conversation, yet the camera's in front of you. And now, since I think I feel like we're both used to it now. I don't feel like the camera's there. It just look like we still just talking regular, like as we on FaceTime or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a lot, especially with the camera in front of you, because it's hard to, it's hard to talk socially with someone you know, and then you just see a blinking red light right in your face. It's kind of hard to miss.
Ethernet cable.
Yeah, Ethernet, please, for the Lord of God. But I mean, there's been a lot with this first year. This is only our first season. We're gonna split up into seasons. It's only our first season, and it's been a lot. It's been a lot of good moments, a lot of funny moments, a lot of heated debates back and forth between us, and we're gonna continue that. Like I said, we have a lot planned for this podcast. A lot of things to do. I don't want to stretch on this ending outro long enough, so we'll say thank you to everybody that watched this season. Thank you for all the support, all the love. Anybody that commented, anybody that gave us advice, anybody that said, good job, anybody that said, keep doing you, anybody that gave us praise, anybody. I thank all you guys. Appreciate it. No matter how little or small margin it is, appreciate all the love. And we're going to continue building this and building this and building this to be the best it can possibly be. So, Ja, any final thoughts? Any final words?
Great NBA season, great podcast season. Look for bigger and better things, and that's all I gotta really say. See y'all next year, man. See y'all next season.
See y'all next season. As for this channel, stay tuned for future videos. Who knows when we might do something? It could be the next coming days, could be the next few weeks. Who knows? We have, like I said, we have a lot of things planned. So just be on the lookout for future videos and things that we have planned for future. But that all being said, first, congratulations to your NBA champions, Milwaukee Bucks, and of course, everybody else. Thank you guys for watching today's podcast and the podcast from this season. Make sure you watch next season and stay tuned for our next videos in the upcoming, who knows. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, support the channel, give us feedback, anything, all that good stuff.
And also follow IG and our TikTok down in the description below.
And for the final time this season, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And this was the Mind of Basketball podcast.
Your new champions, Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yep. NBA Champions Edition.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye. See y'all next year.